It sounds impossible, right? A modern-day cat having teeth that are longer than a legendary dinosaur's. On one hand, you have the Bengal tiger, a magnificent, powerful predator, truly the king of its jungle. On the other, the Velociraptor, a swift, terrifying killer from a lost world, made famous by pop culture as a pack-hunting nightmare. Your gut instinct probably tells you the prehistoric monster has to be more extreme in every way. But nature has a funny way of surprising us. This modern cat is walking around with canines that put one of the most famous dinosaurs to shame. And it's not even close. A tiger's fangs are definitively, measurably longer than a velociraptor's teeth. It just feels wrong. It challenges our whole idea of the prehistoric world being a place of unmatched monstrosity. How can an animal we see in documentaries possess a feature that outstrips a dinosaur? And what does that even mean? Is a tiger more dangerous than a velociraptor? To answer that, we can't just stop at one measurement. We have to go deeper. Today, we measure the teeth, we examine the skulls, and we break down the incredible science behind two completely different, perfectly honed killing machines. The impossible premise. So the claim is simple. A Bengal tiger's canine is longer than a velociraptor's tooth. When you hear that, your mind probably jumps to the 6-foot-tall, scaly, hyper-intelligent pack hunters from the movies. And if that's what you're picturing, the statement sounds absurd. But the first clue to solving this puzzle is understanding that the Hollywood velociraptor is pure fiction. The real velociraptor was a vastly different creature. It wasn't a hulking, human-sized beast. It was small, feathered, and while it could be up to 2 meters long, it only stood about half a meter tall at the hip. In terms of weight, we're talking about 15 to 20 kilograms at most. That's about 30 to 45 pounds. So, while it was much larger than a turkey, it was still a lightweight predator. A large male Bengal tiger, by contrast, can weigh up to 260 kilograms, or nearly 600 pounds. Suddenly, the impossible starts to seem pretty plausible. But this isn't just a story about size. It's about evolution, specialization, and the fascinating ways that different predators develop different tools for the same ultimate purpose: to kill and eat. A longer tooth doesn't automatically mean a more effective killer. It just means a different strategy. And to understand that strategy, we have to get out the measuring tape. Let's start with our modern champion, the Bengal tiger. Tigers are famous for having some of the longest canine teeth among living cat species. When you look at the skull of a large male Bengal tiger, what immediately grabs you are the 4 colossal spires of enamel and dentin anchoring its jaws. These are the canines. According to scientific records, the total length of these upper canines from the tip of the crown to the base of the root deep in the jaw can reach up to 10 centimeters, or about 4 inches. Let that sink in. A tooth as long as your index finger. The exposed part, the crown, can be up to 7.5 centimeters long in large individuals. These teeth aren't just long. They are incredibly robust, thick, conical, and built to withstand enormous pressure. They are biological daggers. Now, let's turn to our challenger from the Cretaceous, Velociraptor mongoliensis. First things first, dinosaurs like Velociraptor don't have canines like mammals do. Their teeth were generally more uniform in shape. A Velociraptor had 26 to 28 teeth in its jaws, and they weren't long, conical spikes. Instead, they were smaller, blade-like, and serrated like a steak knife, especially on the back edge. So, how long were they? Fossil evidence gives us a clear answer. The teeth of a velociraptor were typically up to about 2 to 2.5 centimeters long, roughly an inch. So there you have it, a 10 centimeter tiger canine versus a 2 5-centimeter Velociraptor tooth. It's not a fair fight. But this measurement is just the what, not the why. To understand why these two elite predators have such vastly different dental hardware, we need to look beyond length and explore how their entire killing apparatus works. A tiger's skull is a masterpiece of engineering, built to deliver a devastatingly powerful and precise bite. The entire structure, from the wide cheekbones that anchor massive jaw muscles to the crest running along the top of the skull, is built to generate immense force. A tiger can produce a bite force of over 1,000 pounds per square inches, which is more than 6 times stronger than a human's. At the heart of this system are the canines. But they're not crude instruments. They are highly specialized tools. When a tiger attacks large prey, like a deer or a buffalo, it uses its weight and claws for the takedown, but the kill itself is almost always done with the teeth. The tiger aims for the throat or the back of the neck. Those massive canines aren't for tearing or slicing, they're for puncturing. They slide between the vertebrae of the neck, severing the spinal cord in a move called the nuchal bite. Or they clamp down on the windpipe, causing suffocation. What's truly incredible is the precision involved. The canines are packed with pressure-sensing nerves, allowing the tiger to feel exactly where its teeth are and make tiny adjustments to find the vital gap between the bones. It's a form of deadly acupuncture, perfected by millions of years of evolution. Once the prey is down, a different set of teeth gets to work. Further back in the jaw, tigers have specialized teeth called carnassials. These act like a pair of shears, slicing through thick hide and muscle with incredible efficiency. This allows the tiger to process huge amounts of meat very quickly. The tiger's toolkit is a two-part system: precision daggers for a quick kill, and butcher's shears for processing the meal. Now, let's look at the Velociraptor. To understand its teeth, you have to forget everything about the tiger. This was a completely different game with a different set of rules. As we established, this was a small, lightweight predator. It lived in an arid, dune-filled environment, and its diet included a range of small to medium-sized vertebrates. Famously, one fossil even shows a velociraptor locked in combat with the much larger herbivore Protoceratops. Its skull was long and narrow, filled with those relatively small, serrated teeth. They were not designed for a bone-crushing, suffocating bite. Their shape tells us their function: gripping and tearing flesh. The serrations acted like a saw, helping the dinosaur pull meat from a carcass. In fact, some fossil evidence suggests they may have scavenged on already dead animals. So if its teeth weren't its main killing weapon, what was? The answer is on its feet. The real star of the Velociraptor's arsenal was the iconic, sickle-shaped claw on the second toe of each foot, which could be over 6.5 centimeters long. Originally thought to be for slashing, a leading modern theory known as raptor prey restraint, or RPR, suggests something even more fascinating. This theory proposes that Velociraptor didn't slash with its claw. Instead, it would leap onto its prey, often an animal smaller than itself, and use the claws like grappling hooks to pin it to the ground. Once the prey was immobilized, the raptor would use its feathered arms for balance, much like a modern hawk mantling its prey. With the animal pinned, the Velociraptor would then begin to feed, using its small, sharp teeth to tear away at the flesh, often while the prey was still alive. This brutal strategy makes perfect sense for a small predator, relying on speed, agility, and a specialized tool, the sickle claw, to restrain prey. The jaws and teeth were secondary tools for feeding, not killing. When we place these two predators side by side, the picture becomes incredibly clear. It's not about which animal was better or more deadly. It's a classic case of different evolutionary strategies for the same goal. The Bengal tiger is the pinnacle of the mammalian ambush predator. Its entire anatomy is a force multiplier for its jaws. It's a heavyweight brawler that ends the fight with a single, perfectly placed, overwhelming blow from its primary weapon, its canines. Its strategy is all about power and precision. The Velociraptor, on the other hand, was a lightweight, bird-like dinosaur built for agility and restraint. Its primary weapon was on its feet, not in its mouth. Its strategy was to use its whole body as a weapon system, using speed to close the distance, claws to immobilize, and teeth as a tool for consumption. Its approach was one of grappling and opportunism. This incredible diversity in form and function is one of the most amazing things about studying the natural world, both ancient and modern. The story of life on Earth is filled with these kinds of surprising connections and myth-busting realities. If you enjoy having your mind blown by the science behind the world's most amazing predators, you're in the right place. So, yes, a Bengal tiger's canines are, without a doubt, significantly longer than a velociraptor's teeth. What sounds like an unbelievable boast for the modern world turns out to be a simple, factual measurement. But the truly amazing story isn't the measurement itself, it's what that difference tells us. It reveals that the pop culture image of the velociraptor is a fantasy, and that the real feathered predator is far more scientifically interesting. And it shows that the Bengal tiger is not just a big cat. It's a hyper-specialized killing machine, equipped with dental weaponry that is every bit as impressive as anything the prehistoric world has to offer. The length of a tooth doesn't crown a winner in some imaginary fight. Instead, it opens a window into two unique evolutionary paths and two brilliant survival strategies separated by 75 million years. It shows us that nature is always refining and perfecting animals for their specific time and place, creating an incredible diversity of killers, each a master of its own deadly craft.